Alright guys, it's time for Supergirl. She's finally getting some of the recognition she deserves, and she actually has a really interesting history. Let's take a look right now. I'm Sasha Wood, and these are the top 10 shocking facts about Supergirl. Number 10. While Supergirl is known today as Kara Zor-El, she was not technically the first Supergirl, as DC had played around with the concept of a female counterpart to Superman 4 times before, in between 1943 and 1958. However, these characters were usually one-offs, except for Lois Lane, who gained Kryptonian powers a few times and took on the mantle of Superwoman. Superwoman is currently the name held by the evil counterpart of Wonder Woman, who is a member of the crime syndicate from Earth 3. More about her history in at number 9. Supergirl has had many origins, with her latest ones adding the tragic twist of her being sent to protect her infant cousin only to have her pod diverted and arrive years later, after he has already reached adulthood. However, in her first origin, Kara lived on a fragment that had survived Krypton's destruction and was sent to Earth to be raised by her cousin after a meteor shower threatens to destroy her home. Her first appearance was in Action Comics number 252 in 1959. Number 8. There are multiple Supergirls existing at the same time. Power Girl and Supergirl are exactly the reason DC decided to do Crisis on Infinite Earths in the first place, to clear up a lot of this confusion. Power Girl is also Kara Zor-El, cousin to Superman from an alternate universe, Earth 2, distinguished by her more flamboyant costume and bust size. After the retconning out of existence of Earth 2, her origins had to be revised. However, the multiverse then came back into existence, which allowed her to become Kara once more. Again, Kara from an alternate Earth. More about modern Supergirl at number 7. Supergirl has had a resurgence in mainstream popularity thanks to the popularity of the 2015 television show, which updated her character and benefited from the surge in superhero popularity in general, thanks to the big screen's Marvelverse and the small screen's Arrowverse. This show has even influenced parts of her comic book relaunch during DC's Rebirth. Number 6. Supergirl didn't just have a pet horse, she also had a pet cat. Streaky, a member of the Legion of Super Pets. Created accidentally by Supergirl in Action Comics number 261 while she was attempting to neutralize green kryptonite, she accidentally instead created X-Kryptonite and tossed it out the window, which exposed her pet Streaky to the chemicals, which gave her cat superpowers, including flight, super strength, supervision, super speed, and human level or better intelligence. Hilarious. Number 5. The Supergirl film, released in 1984, was meant to be a fresh start to the Superman franchise after the poor reception the public had to Superman 3. However, its disjointed storyline and, well, lack of Superman led to the film flopping, and aided in the misconception that has always floated around Supergirl that she isn't popular. This assumption has plagued her for a long time, as evidenced by number 4. Supergirl was not allowed to be featured on the cover art of the DC animated film Superman/Batman Apocalypse, even though the story is about her and her journey to becoming Supergirl. This was because the company was afraid it would result in lower sales after the release of the animated Wonder Woman film did less well than anticipated. The title was also changed, as the story upon which the film is based is titled Superman/Batman: The Supergirl from Krypton. Let's talk about how Supergirl's history got so confusing at number 3. Supergirl died because DC decided it had too many Kryptonians. From her first appearances, even before she was Kara, Supergirl has always proved to be a popular character, so it was met with great sadness when she died during 1985's DC relaunch event, Crisis on Infinite Earths. When it came time to discuss why, writer Marv Wolfman is quoted as saying, "Before Crisis, it seemed that half of Krypton had survived the explosion. We had Superman, Supergirl, Krypto, the Phantom Zone criminals, the Bottle City of Kandor, and many others. Our goal was to make Superman unique. We went back to his origin and made Kal-El the only survivor of Krypton. That, sadly, was why Supergirl had to die." However, we were thrilled by all the letters we received saying Supergirl's death in Crisis was the best Supergirl story they ever read. Sure, Jan. I'm sure they got a lot of other letters saying the opposite things too, but it probably wouldn't have been a good time to bring those up, because it's quite evident not everyone shared that sentiment, which brings us to number 2. We can't blame the writing staff, because this decision came from DC's vice president/executive editor, Dick Giordano, who simply didn't like the character. He stated, "Supergirl was created initially to take advantage of the high Superman sales, and not much thought was put into her creation. She was created essentially as a female Superman. With time, writers and artists improved upon her execution, but she never did really add anything to the Superman mythos, at least not for me. Kara Kara's death was by far the most tragic of this event because not only did she sacrifice herself to save others, no one was even allowed to remember that she existed. So what could possibly top that? Well, at number 1, one of Supergirl's earliest romances was with her horse, Comet the Super Horse. He was a recurring character in Action Comics alongside Supergirl since 1962, though of course Crisis changed him significantly. Comet for a time gained the ability to take human form, as Bill Starr, aka Bronco. During this time he dated Kara, but he dated her in her secret identity as Linda Danvers. However, neither knew the other's identity, so Kara had no idea she was essentially making out with her horse. However, he could only transform when a certain comet passed the Earth, so this relationship was not meant to be. We must never forget these wonderful Silver Age moments because they will never come again. So those were 10 shocking facts about Supergirl. Are you astounded about the depth of craziness surrounding the Girl of Steel? Let us know what other top 10 lists you guys can't wait to see here on Top 10 Nerd. If you ask for a part 2, we'll talk about Supercorps, and you'll get some bonus points if you know what I'm talking about. I'm Sasha Wood, thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye bye.